UFC featherweight Luis Pajuelo accepts a 24-month sanction for a violation of the UFC anti-doping policy. He tested positive for 2 anabolic steroids in a urine sample that was collected at a competition on August 5th in Lima, Peru. He's a Peruvian fighter. Additionally, he also admitted to using nandrolone, so on top of that, he admitted to using another banned substance. The Combat Sports Anti-Doping Agency did the testing, and they gave him a 24-month period of ineligibility. He can return to fighting August 23rd, 2026, so the UFC terminated his contract. Jim Miller is going to be fighting Damon Jackson at UFC 309 on November 16th in New York City. Miller has the most fights in UFC history with 44. Then it's Arlovsky, Cerrone, Guida, who's fighting Chase Hooper next, Rafael Dos Anjos, who's fighting Jeff Neal next, Jeremy Stevens, Damian Maia, and Charles Oliveira, who's also on that New York card with Jim Miller. Oliveira won the first fight via KO. One Championship has a card on Friday, and that organization does hydration tests. Before, fighters refused to give their hydration samples, which caused 3 fights to be taken off the card. Liam Harrison said he heard someone tried cheating the hydration test at One Championship with water, 10 out of 10 for effort, but 2 out of 10 for execution. So adding some toilet water to their piss didn't work out for that particular fighter. Conor McGregor and boxer Terrance Crawford were in negotiations to do some sort of crossover combat sports bout, but Crawford said he didn't want to get kicked in the legs. But Conor offers even more money now. Big respect to Terrance Bud Crawford. $100 million a fight. 1 in MMA, 1 in boxing, so that's $200 million. And Terrance Crawford responds that he's tempted. Crawford is 41-0 in boxing after his victory in August. Conor McGregor hasn't fought since 2021 when he lost to Dustin Poirier. In his live stream, Ilia Topuria said that he's down to fight Islam Makhachev. He's fighting Max Holloway on the 26th. Co-main event is Khamzat versus Whitaker. He thinks that Khamzat smashes Whitaker in the co-main event.
Eu vou lutar no próximo sábado, mas já estou voltando. Pode fazer o que quiser. Eu não vou desistir de você. Você sabe que eu te amo. Te amo.
Merab's only had the belt for like 3 weeks and he's already getting smeared. Yeah, he started getting ducking allegations even before he had the belt. I guess saying he wanted to fight Figueiredo instead of Umar before the title fight. Open up the floodgates for that. Makhachev and Pereira are number 1 pound for pound right now without question. The current official rankings would agree with that statement. I don't have a problem with this official order. Islam Makhachev 1, Alex Pereira 2, John Jones 3. Dana White will probably think it should be in reverse, but I'm good with this list. Dana White says they didn't do Ankalaev versus Pereira because Ankalaev had a fight scheduled. They could have done Rakic versus Roundtree and Ankalaev versus Pereira, but this is what we got. If Khalil wins, they'll do an immediate rematch with Alex. If Alex wins and Ankalaev wins, they'll be matched up together, but Rakic is looking to spoil that. Jose Aldo and Alex Pereira meeting up before their fights this weekend against Roundtree and Batista. Aldo's already in the UFC Hall of Fame, but he's still in the top 10 at bantamweight and taking on rising contenders. He's regarded by many as the greatest featherweight of all time and had 7 successful title defenses in the UFC. Valentina Shevchenko also had 7. Top of the list, Demetrius Johnson with 11, Anderson Silva with 10, George St. Pierre with 9, John Jones with 8. If Jones didn't get stripped for a variety of reasons, he could have easily been number 1. Kevin Holland is a slight favorite over Roman Dolidze in their fight that kicks off the pay-per-view on Saturday. Holland's last 7 victories have all been finishes, but Roman Dolidze has never been stopped. PFL odds for the card later this month. Chris Cyborg might be a decent underdog bet. It's very rare that she's ever an underdog. She's going to be taking on Larissa Pacheco. And the main event got Ngannou, but Renan Ferreira as a 2.5-1 underdog may be a possibility because Ngannou was knocked out badly in his last fight. Renan Ferreira is a monster as well, a huge guy. And also Ngannou has obviously been a complete mental and emotional wreck since his personal tragedy this year where his son tragically passed away. Juliana Pena having a master's degree in Yapology was a pretty good line by Raquel Pennington. Pennington is looking to defend her bantamweight title for the first time against Pena on Saturday. Pennington has won 6 fights in a row. The criticism against her is though they are a lot of decisions. 5 of those 6 victories were by decision. 9 years ago today was Islam Makhachev's only loss in MMA to Adriano Martins, where he was knocked out by Martins at UFC 192, which is the only blemish on his 26-1 MMA record. Since that time, Makhachev has won 14 fights in a row, including winning and defending the lightweight title 3 times. Since that time, Adriano Martins has a record of 1 win, only 1 win, and 5 losses and a no contest. He was supposed to fight last month against Damir Ismagulov, who's a former UFC ranked lightweight, but the fight ended up getting cancelled. Islam Makhachev may be taking on Sarukian in January. Surely Sarukian is the next challenger, however the date is up in the air, but 3/11 in January looks like what it's going to be. Makhachev is currently the leader in title defenses amongst champions in the UFC with 3. However, Alex is looking to tie that Saturday. Makhachev and Sarukian fought in 2019. Makhachev won a unanimous decision, and since that time, Sarukian has a 9-1 record and only lost to Gamrot. If Gamrot was able to use his wrestling heavy attack to beat Sarukian, you think Makhachev would be able to do the same this time out, but styles make fights. Maybe Sarukian has adapted his game to the specific techniques of Makhachev. And Sarukian has gotten better since that loss to Gamrot, winning 4 in a row, culminating in this title shot. How do you see this fight going? Let me know in the comments. Out of 10, Alex Pereira ranked the easiest and the hardest fights for him. Dricus Du Plessis he put as a 4 out of 10 in terms of how hard it would be to beat him. Du Plessis, if he can't get the takedown, would probably get knocked out. Ankalaev he puts as a 5 out of 10. I think this could be a tough fight for Alex though, because Ankalaev's wrestling and grappling skills are quite good. If he does decide to employ his wrestling, stylistically it could be a bad matchup for Alex, but if he decides to just go out there and start striking and duking it out and overestimating his kickboxing skills, he may end up getting slept. Robert Whittaker he puts as a 6 out of 10 in terms of difficulty beating. Then Alexander Rakic is at a 7. Again, this may end up being a striking fight where Alex would probably win by knockout. He puts Khamzat Chimaev as a 7 out of 10 in terms of difficulty fighting. The size of Alex may be problematic for Khamzat, but at the same time, I've seen him wrestle and grapple huge guys and toss them around and control them on the ground, so you never really know. Khalil Roundtree puts as a 7 out of 10 in terms of fighting difficulty. He's fighting him Saturday. If they agree to duke it out, which they have, until someone falls down, then I think the guy who falls down is going to be Khalil Roundtree, but it's going to be a highly entertaining bout in the main event Saturday nights. He puts Tom Aspinall as a 9 out of 10 in terms of difficulty beating him, which is a good assessment because Aspinall has the size, he has really good wrestling, really good striking, very dangerous on the ground. Dangerous in every aspect of the game, plus he's got the youth and the size advantage. And John Jones he also puts as a 9 out of 10 in terms of difficulty beating. Jones is widely considered as the greatest of all time and just has a natural fighting ability, very high fight IQ, ability to adapt during the fight, great at everything, so he definitely would be a tough fight for Alex. So I think Alex has a pretty good grasp of who the toughest challenges for him would be in the octagon because he has Aspinall and Jones on the top. Who do you think is the toughest for him, and what do you think of his list? Is it accurate? Let me know in the comments.